Now we enter into the next stage of our preparation. In the first 5 weeks, we have just worked at the concept level. We have tried to understand things. We have tried to create an approach, and we have focused on all these things, right? Now, once you enter into the sixth week, so let's believe that you have finished almost 1.5 months, and you have taken this 1.5 months just to work on the approach and the method. Now we are entering into the general practice. General practice, and it says here without any time limit. The reading activity has to go on parallelly. It has to go on simultaneously every day. There is no need to for me to separately tell that to you. But what will happen from the sixth week onwards is the practicing will start. And as I have said here, that from this week onwards, the learner should aim to solve at least 14 RCs, 20 CR, and 50 VA questions a week. So the idea is that you should give 20 hours in the sixth, seventh, and the eighth week, 20 hours a week. You should solve at least 1 or 2 RCs daily, at least some sets of CR questions, some VA questions. So you can keep a mixed bag, just one RC, two CR sets, maybe two RC, and then two CR sets, a few VA questions, so that you know you are in touch with the daily practicing. And all this should happen without time limit. When I say without time limit, means even if you are taking half an hour to solve an RC, no problem, take half an hour. Because you are learning, you are practicing, you are experimenting. So you are trying to see whether your accuracy is coming in shape or not. So what we have done so far is that we have dedicated the first 5 weeks to simply building an approach and a method. Now, in the sixth, seventh, and eighth week, we are working on accuracy. We are trying to develop the accuracy, whether you are able to get 60%, 70%, 80% accuracy or not. Desirable is, of course, minimum 80%. But if you're crossing the 50% accuracy barrier, then you are not doing so bad. But try to take that 50% to almost 80%. The accuracy in the parajumbles may not be as high because parajumbles does not provide you the options. So parajumbles accuracy could be on the lower side. But the idea is that you have to practice generally without any time limit. And this is what the number of hours is given, and this is what the number of questions. So 14 RCs a week, 20 CR questions a week, 50 VA questions a week. This 50 could have 15, 15, 15 from each of the three, or you can separate it. I mean, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to do the VA questions daily. So one day you can take two RCs, the next day you can take some RC, some VA and some CR, then again RC. So it's all up to you. But it's a mix and match. But the idea is that you should try to practice at least 14 RCs in a week, 20 CR questions, and 50 VA questions. This has to go in the sixth, seventh, and eighth week. Very important. 3 weeks of hardcore practice without any time limit. Don't keep any time limit. And once we enter into the ninth week, then we will take time limit. So from the within 2 months, from the day you buy the course, within 2 months, you have reached the practicing level that you are practicing, you know how to do things. And now from the third month onwards, we will enter the practicing with time limits. So this is what we have done in the general practice. Now how to access that in the course? In the course part, you will find it here. So when you look at all these folders, for example, parajumbles, so there are lots of practice questions here. You can practice from here the parajumbles, and similarly you can practice from here the paragraph summary questions. You can practice from here the sentence exclusion questions, and you can practice from here the CAT RC and the CR questions. So the CAT RC is, like, for example, it says here critical reasoning 100 questions, so you must have finished some questions in the earlier stages. Now in the practice stage, finish the rest of the questions. Similarly, when you go to the RC's part, in the earlier part you must have finished some questions, but particularly the conceptual stuff. Now you can go and start practicing. So 100 RC questions, 20 RC questions, 32 past year CAD RC questions. So all these 132 plus 20, 152 questions can be practiced, right? This is the practice level, and much of the practicing has to happen without time limit. If you think you are confident enough, you can put a time limit. Otherwise, the first 3 weeks, don't put any time limit. This is where you have to practice the questions from. Now we will go to